And to Madai his portion was assigned, that he should take from the west of his two brothers as far as the islands, and up to the coasts of the islands. And to Javan the fourth portion was assigned, every island, and the islands which are towards the side of Lud. And to Tubal the fifth portion was assigned, in the midst of the tongue which draws near toward the side of Lud's portion, as far as the second tongue, into the region beyond the second tongue, into the third tongue. And to Meshach the sixth portion was assigned, everything on the other side of the third tongue, until it approaches the east of Gadir. And to Tiras the seventh portion was assigned, 4 great islands in the midst of the sea, which approaches the portion of Ham. And the islands of Kamaturi were assigned by lot to the sons of Arphaxad as an inheritance for him. And thus the sons of Noah divided for their children before Noah their father, and he made them all swear an oath to curse each and every one who desired to seize a portion which did not come in his lot. And they all said, So be it, and so let it be to them and to their sons forever in their generations, until the day of judgment, in which the Lord God will judge them with a sword and with fire, on account of all the evil of the pollution of their errors, which have filled the earth, with sin and pollution and fornication and transgression. In the 3rd week of that Jubilee, the polluted demons began to lead astray the children of Noah's son, and to lead them to folly, and to destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah, their father, and they told him about the demons who were leading astray, and blinding and killing his grandchildren. And he prayed before the Lord his God, and he said, God of the spirits which are in all flesh, who has acted mercifully with me, and saved me and my sons from the water of the flood, and did not let me perish as you did the children of perdition. Because great was your grace upon me, and great was your mercy upon my soul. Let your grace be lifted up upon my sons, and do not let the evil spirits rule over them, lest they destroy them from the earth. But bless me and my sons, and let us grow and increase and fill the earth. And you know that which your watchers, the fathers of these spirits, did in my days, and also these spirits who are alive. Shut them up, and take them to the place of judgment, and do not let them cause corruption among the sons of your servant. O my God, because they are cruel, and were created to destroy. And let them not rule over the spirits of the living, because you alone know their judgment. And do not let them have power over the children of the righteous henceforth and forever. And the Lord our God spoke to us, so that we might bind all of them. And the chief of their spirits, Mastema, came, and he said, O Lord, Creator, leave some of them before me, and let them obey my voice, and let them do everything which I tell them. Because if some of them are not left for me, I will not be able to exercise the authority of my will among the children of men, because they are intended to corrupt and lead astray before my judgment, because the evil of the sons of men is great. And he said, Let 1/10 of them remain before him, but let 9 parts go down into the place of judgment. And he told one of us to teach Noah all of their healing, because he knew that they would not walk uprightly, and would not strive righteously. And we acted in accord with all his words. All of the evil ones who were cruel we bound in the place of judgment, but 1/10 of them we let remain, so that they might be subject to Satan upon the earth. And the healing of all their illnesses, together with their seductions, we told to Noah, so that he might heal by means of herbs of the earth. And Noah wrote everything in a book, just as we taught him, according to every kind of healing. And the evil spirits were restrained from following the sons of Noah. And he gave everything which he wrote to Shem, his oldest son, because he loved him much more than all of his sons. And Noah slept with his fathers, and was buried on Mount Lubar in the land of Ararat. 950 years he completed in his life, 19 jubilees in 2 weeks and 5 years. On account of his righteousness, in which he was perfected, his life on earth was more excellent than any of the sons of men, except Enoch. For the work of Enoch had been created as a witness to the generations of the world, so that he might report every deed of each generation in the day of judgment. And in the 33rd Jubilee, in the 1st year of this 2nd month, Peleg took a wife whose name was Lamna, daughter of Sinaar, and she bore a son for him in the 4th year of that week. And he called him Reu, because he said, Behold, the sons of man have become evil with perverse counsel, so that they are building a city and a tower for themselves in the land of Shinar. But they departed from the land of Ararat toward the east into Shinar, because in his days they built a city and a tower, saying, Come, let us go up into heaven. And they began building. In the 4th week they baked bricks of fire, and bricks were for them like stones, and the mud with which they plastered was bitumen, which came out of the sea, and the springs of water in the land of Shinar. And they built it. 43 years they were building it. Its width was 203 bricks, and the height of each brick was 1/3 of its length. 5,433 cubits, and 2 palms its height rose up, and 13 stadies was its wall. And the Lord our God said to us, Behold, the people are one, and they have begun working. Now nothing will escape them. Behold, let us go down and mix up their tongues, so that each one will not hear another's word, so that they will be scattered into cities and nations. And therefore, one counsel will not reside with him until the day of judgment. And the Lord went down, and we went down with him, and we saw the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And he mixed up their tongues, and therefore one did not hear another's word. And so they ceased to build the city and the tower. Therefore all the land of Shinar is called Babel, because there the Lord mixed up all the languages of the sons of men. And from there they were scattered into their cities, according to each of their languages and nations. And the Lord sent a great wind upon the tower, and overthrew it on the earth. And behold, it is between Ashur and Babylon. And in the land of Shinar he called it the Overthrow. And in the 4th week, in the 1st year, in the beginning of it, in the 34th Jubilee, they were scattered from the land of Shinar. And Ham and his sons went into the land which was his possession, and which he built in his portion in the land of the south. But Canaan saw that the land of Lebanon, as far as the river Egypt, was very good, and he did not go into the land of his inheritance towards the west, that is, the sea. But he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward and westward, from the bank of the Jordan, and from the shore of the sea. And Ham his father, and Cush and Mizraim his brother, said to him, You have dwelt in a land which is not yours, nor did it come forth for us by lot. Do not do this, because if you do this, you and your children will fall in the land, and be cursed with sedition, because by sedition you have dwelt, and by sedition your children will fall, and you will be uprooted forever. Do not dwell in the dwelling of Shem, because it came to Shem and his sons by lot. You are cursed, and you will be cursed more than all the sons of Noah by the curse which we swore with an oath before the holy judge, and before Noah our father. But he would not listen to them, and he dwelt in the land of Lebanon from Hamath to the entrance of Egypt, he and his sons, until this day, and therefore that land is called Canaan. And Japheth and his sons went toward the sea, and they dwelt in the land of their portion. But Madai saw the land of the sea, and it did not please him, and he begged it from Elam and Ashur and Arphaxad, from the brother of his wife, and he dwelt in the land of Media near his wife's brother until this day. And he called his dwelling place, the dwelling place of his sons, Media, after his father, Madai. And in the 35th Jubilee, in the 3rd week, in the 1st year thereof, Reu took a wife, and her name was Orah, daughter of Ur, son of Kesed. And she bore a son for him, and she called him Serach, in the 7th year of that week, in that Jubilee. And the sons of Noah began fighting in order to take captive and to kill each other, to pour the blood of man upon the earth, to eat blood, and to build fortified cities with walls and towers, so that one man will be raised up over the people, to set up the first kingdoms to go to war, people against people, and nation against nation, and city against city. And everyone will act and do evil to acquire weapons of battle, and to teach their sons war. And they began to take captive a city, and to sell male and female slaves. And Ur, the son of Kesed, built the city of Ur in the Chaldees, and he named it after his name and his father's name. And they made for themselves molten images, and everyone worshipped the icon which they made for themselves as a molten image. And they began making graven images like polluted likenesses. And cruel spirits assisted them, and led them astray, so that they might commit sin and pollution. And the prince, Mastema, acted forcibly to do all of this. And he sent other spirits to those who were set under his hand, to practice all error and sin, and dull transgression to destroy, to cause to perish, and to pour out blood upon the earth. Therefore the name of Serog, because everyone had turned back to commit all sin and transgression. And he grew up and dwelt in Ur of the Chaldees, near the father of his wife's mother. And he used to worship idols, and he took a wife in the 36th Jubilee, in the 5th week, in the 1st year thereof. And her name was Milcah, daughter of Caber, daughter of his father's brother. And she bore him Nahor in the 1st year of that week. And he grew up and dwelt in Ur among the Chaldeans. And his father taught him the researches of the Chaldeans, in order to practice divination and astrology, according to the signs of heaven. And in the 37th Jubilee, in the 6th week, in the 1st year thereof, he took a wife, and her name was Iaska, daughter of Nestag of the Chaldees. And she bore for him Terah in the 7th year of that week. And Prince Mastema sent crows and birds, so that they might eat the seed which was being sown in the earth, in order to spoil the earth, so that they might rob mankind of their labors. Before they plowed in the seed, the crows picked it off the surface of the earth. And therefore he called him Terah, because the crows and birds were impoverishing them. And they ate their seed, and the years began being barren because of the birds. And they ate all of the fruits of the trees from the groves. If ever they were able to save a little from all of the fruit in the earth in their days, it was with great effort. And in this 39th Jubilee, in the 2nd week, in the 1st year, Terah took a wife, and her name was Edna, daughter of Abram, daughter of his first sister. And in the 7th year of that week she bore a son for him, and he called him Abram, after the name of his mother's father, because he died before his daughter conceived a son. And the lad began understanding the straying of the land, that everyone went astray after graven images and after pollution. And his father taught him writing, and he was 2 weeks of years old, and he separated from his father, so that he might not worship the idols with him. And he began to pray to the Creator of all, so that he might save him from the straying of the sons of men, and so that his portion might not fall into straying after the pollution and scorn. And the seed time arrived for sowing in the land, and they all went out together, so that they might guard their seed from before the crows. And Abram went out with those who went out, and the lad was 14 years old. And a cloud of crows came, so that they might eat the seed. And Abram used to run up to them before they settled upon the earth. And he would call out to them before they settled upon the earth to eat seed. And he said, "Don't come down. Return to the place whence you came." And they turned back. And he caused the cloud of crows to turn back 70 times in that day. And none of the crows settled on any of the fields where Abram was, not one. And all who were with him in all the fields saw him as he was calling out. Then all of the crows turned away. And his reputation was great in the land of Chaldea. And all who would sow came to him during that year. And he used to go up with them until the seed time passed. And they sowed their land and harvested in that year enough food, and they ate and were satisfied. And in the 1st year, the 5th week, Abram taught those who were making the implements for oxen and the skilled carpenters. And they made implements above the ground, facing the handle of the plow, so that they might place seed upon it. And the seed would go down from within it onto the point of the plow, and it would be hidden in the earth, and therefore they were not afraid of the crows. And they did likewise upon all of the plow handles above the ground. And they sowed and tilled all of the earth, just as Abram commanded them, and therefore they were not afraid of the birds. And it came to pass in the 6th week, in its 7th year, that Abram spoke to Terah his father, saying, "O father," and he said, "Behold, here I am, my son." And he said, "What help or advantage do we have from these idols before which you worship and bow down? Because there is not any spirit in them, for they are mute, and they are misleading of the heart. Do not worship them. Worship the God of heaven, who sends down rain and dew upon the earth, and who makes everything upon the earth, and created everything by his word, and all life is in his presence. Why do you worship those who have no spirit in them? Because they are works of the hands, and you are carrying them upon your shoulders, and there is no help for you in them, except great shame for those who made them, and the misleading of the heart for those who worship them. Do not worship them." And his father said to him, "I also know that, my son, but what shall I do to the people who have made me minister before them? And if I speak to them in righteousness, they will kill me, because their souls cleave to them, so that they might worship them and praise them. Be silent, my son, lest they kill you." And he told this matter to 2 of his brothers, and they were angry with him, and he kept quiet.